Good morning everyone. My name is Suman Khatun and today I will be presenting on a vital aspect of our educational framework under the course Contemporary India and Education. When you look at the Indian education system, it often feels like a massive complex machine. But every machine needs a blueprint and an architect. Today, we are going to compare two of the most influential architects of our system, the NUEPA or NUEPA and NCERT. While both institutions aim to improve the quality of education in India, they operate in very different spheres. One focuses heavily on the structural planning and administration of our schools, of the institutions, while the other is the heartbeat of curriculum development and classroom learning. Understanding the distinction between NUPA and NCERT is essential for us as future educators, as it helps us to understand how policy eventually turns into textbooks we use in the classroom. Now, before going to the planning and curriculum part, we must know about the history of these two architects, and between them, the first one is the NUPA, National University of Educational Planning and Administration. The NUPA is the national apex institution in the field of educational planning and administration. The National University has its origin dating back in 1962 when the UNESCO established the Asian Regional Center for Educational Planners and Administrators, which later became the Asian Institute of Educational Planning and Administration in 1965. After 4 years of its existence, it was taken over by the Government of India and renamed as the National Staff for Educational Planners and Administrators. Subsequently, with the increased roles and functions of the National College, particularly in capacity building, research and professional support services to government, it was renamed as the NEPA in 1979. But in August 2006, it was named as NUPA. Moving from administration to the classroom, let's look at NCERT. It was established on September 1st, 1961 in New Delhi. This is an autonomous body that serves as India's apex academic advisor. While NUPA plans the system, NCERT designs the actual learning. Its core mission is to improve school quality through research, development, and training. They are the experts behind the national curriculum framework, ensuring that textbooks and teaching standards are consistent across every state. Essentially, if NUPA is the manager of the school system, NCERT is the architect of what our students actually think and learn. Looking specially at NUPA's internal framework, we see how they bridge theory and practice. They handle academic and professional development by offering advanced degrees like PhD and MPhil, especially in the fields of planning and finance. Furthermore, they design specialized management training for educational planners and the administrators. One of the key contributions is the leadership development modules, which help school officers and principals and the administrators to manage their institutions more effectively. They also act as an extension planning clearinghouse, serving as a hub for field-based models. Essentially, NUPA develops a multi-tiered framework that supports the entire life cycle of a school, from high-level academic research at the top down to the field level leadership in individual schools. Now, let us discuss about the planning and curriculum of NCERT. The framework is divided into two main areas, the strategic foundations and the content delivery. First, let's talk about the National Curriculum Framework or the NCF. NCF acts as the DNA of Indian schooling. NCERT develops this to ensure that every school, from a small village to a big city, is aligned with our broader national goals. They aren't just making a list of subjects, they are determining academic aims. They ask what kind of citizen do we need to produce and then formally establish the educational objectives for every single grade level. Moving to the content delivery part, we see this is where the theory becomes a reality for a student. NCERT produces inclusive model textbooks from class 1 to class 12. These are inclusive because they are children centered and designed to be accessible to students with different learning abilities and backgrounds. Finally, NCERT is leading our digital curriculum expansion. Through initiatives like Diksha and MOOCs, they are driving ICT, information and communication technology, into the heart of learning. They aren't just printing papers anymore. They are creating a digital ecosystem that makes high quality textbooks and resources available on any smartphone or computer in our country. If we look at the comparative analysis between NUEPA and NCERT, their planning and curriculum management and curriculum framework, we will see many differences. The first major difference between these two is NUEPA operates at a macro level administrative planning. That means they look at the big picture, the entire structure of Indian education system from a high altitude view. They deal with the broad administrative planning for the entire country. On the other hand, NCERT focuses on the micro level academic planning only. Their focus is much more granular. They look at what specifically happens inside the classroom, the interaction between the student and the teacher, and the psychological impact of the curriculum on the students. While NUPA is responsible for building the educational planning and policy foundation, which acts as the legal and structural backbone of our schools, NCERT is the body that actually breathes life into that structure. They handle textbook preparation, ensuring that the content is not just factually correct but also age appropriate and aligned with our national values. In terms of resources, there is a very clear divide. NUPA manages the financial planning. They are the economist of our education system, figuring out how to allocate the budgets, manage school grants, and ensure resources that are efficient in a positive way. NCERT, however, is concerned with the teacher education and curriculum. They don't worry about the money, they are only worried about the pedagogy, the science of how teachers deliver those lessons to ensure real learning is taking place. When it comes to the when it comes to the data and implementation, NUPA handles research and data management. They act as massive data hub tracking system-wide performance, literacy rates, and administrative efficacy. In contrast, NCERT works on state-level reform coordination. Because education is a shared responsibility in India, NCERT acts as the academic bridge, making sure that when new teaching method is discovered, it is coordinated across all the states so that no student is left behind. Moving forward into their specialized roles, NUPA takes on the role of monitoring and evaluation. They act as the inspectors of the system, checking to see if administrative goals and government schemes are actually working on the ground or not. In sharp contrast, NCERT acts as a scientific think tank for educational research. It it dives deep into educational psychology and classroom sociology to find better, more modern ways for children to absorb information. Finally, while NUPA looks forward international collaboration to bring global management expertise and administrative best practices from organizations like UNESCO to India, NCERT looks towards the future of classroom itself. They focus on educational technology, integrating ICT, digital tools, online platforms like Diksha directly into the daily curriculum to make learning more interactive and accessible in the 21st century. As we have already discussed about the planning and curriculum of NUPA versus NCERT, we are definitely able to understand that NUPA and NCERT does not act separate entities, but they act as two halves of a single functioning whole. If we think of the Indian education system as a grand production, NUPA is the body building the structural stage through a macro level policy and administrative leadership. They ensure the education system is stable, funded, and managed by trained professionals. On the other hand, NCERT provides the academic script for it. They design the curriculum and pedagogy that give life and meaning to the stage. We have seen that while NUPA focuses on managerial side to train school leaders, NCERT focuses on the pedagogical side to empower us as teachers. One provides the blueprint and the other provides the heart of the classroom. Together, these two pillars ensure that our national educational vision is not just plan on a paper, but a child centered reality in every school across the country. These are some of the references of my work. Thanks for your patience. Thank you.